We're talking Northern Illinois Huskies today on Sharpen the Point. It's the last year in the MAC before heading to the Mountain West Conference, and they're going to look to go out with a bang. Last season, 9-4. Thomas Hammock has this program humming. You got to love where they're at. Quarterback-wise, starter Ethan Hampton's going to depart to be the backup to Luke Altmaier at Illinois. Josh Holst should start and is a mobile quarterback. He started 3 games a year ago, but none were particularly impressive as they really leaned into the run game. I would hope that we start to see him develop as a passer, as this offense needs that dynamic ability in order to reach its ceiling. Expect Jalen Macon to be the backup. He's probably somebody that we can hopefully not see this year, but he may end up being pushed into a starting role if Holst cannot show the capability that we need from him. Running back wise, Telly Johnson returns as the unquestioned starter after 2 100-yard games a year ago when coming on late to finish the season. After Antario Brown and Gavin Williams graduated, Brown was such a talent that just could never stay healthy and put it together for a full season at the end of his career. They were the top 2 leading rushers, but this is a deep room. Jalen Poe, Romello Ware, notably the addition of Siobhan Wright. I think Wright's kind of going under the radar. Wright came in after a stellar season at D2 Charleston, where he led the division in rushing with 2,235 yards rushing and 38 touchdowns, which are just absolutely gaudy numbers to be able to put up. I don't care what level it is. So he could be a factor. This is a coaching staff that loves to be able to rotate backs in because they're just feeding the rock to the running backs over and over and over again. And more of the same this year should be expected given the quarterback situation. Pass catching wise, wide receiver Cam Thompson leaves for Mississippi State. Trayvon Rudolph, probably in the biggest slap of the face, goes to Toledo, where he's just been a dynamic weapon for this roster multiple years in a row. They sapped this team of the explosiveness on the outside. Expected starters at wide receiver, LaDon Bryant, Dane Partridge, and Gary Givens. They operated with the ones all spring. Bryant offers a bigger target at 6'4". You would hope that Holst can just kind of chuck it up to him and hit some explosives, given the fact that the run game's going to be so dominant in this offense. Partridge is going to man the slot. He's the most experienced one of the group. He's probably going to work the middle of the field, crossing routes, things like that, things that Rudolph did extremely well, except for he's a lot bigger and more explosive. Tight end Grayson Barnes departs to West Virginia. He removes a midfield steady target that they were relying upon a year ago to move the chains. Jake Applegate is the likely starter. He made 6 starts a year ago when people weren't on the field, and depth is a very big issue at the tight end position. So they're going to have to lean on the pass catchers in the pass game, specifically the wide receivers, because the tight end room is nowhere near what it used to be or has been. Offensive line-wise, all 5 starters graduated from last season. This is going to be an inexperienced unit. That's a big concern considering that how heavily this team relies on the run, and that run game is predicated on a good offensive line. Left tackle Evan Malcor has the most experience. He's started 20 career games. The other guys that are projected to start have 2 total starts to their name. So we're looking at a fresh, baby-faced set of big uglies that are going to be out there. Right tackle Thomas Posh, he missed the spring with a leg injury. We're going to hope he's healthy coming into the fall. He should be. This unit is the biggest set of question marks, all the way around. They're the most important group to the success of this team going forward. Defensively, defensive tackle Skylar Gill Howard, he parlayed a 5-sack season into the money that is at Texas Tech with that oil money. Rasheen Thomas and Nave Sanders, they headed to Mississippi State. Middle linebacker Christian Furman, he departed after leading the team in tackles. Strong safety went to Missouri. Cornerback goes to Indiana. I mean, it was just a murderer's row of losses all going to the P4. There's a reason this team had a good defense a year ago. That's why they were all P4 guys, and they left. They parlayed a big season into that. Jelani and Roy Williams, they're going to lead the line off the edge. Roy's coming off a 7-sack season. Roy Williams was a great guy to have. A great guy to have in the room. They're going to need it. Jacob Finley, he's going to be the top corner. And then keep an eye on Jasper Beeler. He's impressed in the spring, and he's constantly making plays. He's going to be a key guy as far as being able to turn the football over for this defense and give them some explosives. Looking at the schedule and the outlook for the season, there's a lot of turnover. This has consistently been a well-coached team that runs the ball well and plays good defense. The passing offense needs to be downgraded further, while the defense has many questions. And realistically, the offensive line might be the most important question that needs to get answered in order for this team to go where it should be. Holy Cross, that's a win. Holy Cross has been trending down a little bit, and this team's just too physical for them. At Maryland, that's a paycheck game. I know you shocked Notre Dame a year ago. That was kind of predicated on that quality P4 defense you had and the players in it and the offensive line being so experienced. Don't expect to beat Maryland. At Mississippi State, once again, yes, they got smacked by Toledo a year ago. You are on that level typically in any given year. Mississippi State cannot let that happen twice. I don't think they do. I think you're 1-2 coming out of those two non-con big games there. San Diego State, that's a tough matchup. They're a building program. Sean Lewis has them trending up. We all remember Sean Lewis from building Kent State into what it became, and now it's back to being awful. That's a tough matchup, especially playing, you're playing it at home. That helps, but it's early in the season. That's a coin flip game. You hope that you can get there. Miami of Ohio at home. They're just flat out a better MAC team right now, specifically with Daquan Finn. That is a difference maker. You're going to have to run the ball down their throat. You're capable of it. However, difference maker, Daquan Finn. At Eastern Michigan, that's a close game. I would say Hammock is a better coach in the capability to be able to win that game. Also a coin flip, though. At Ohio, tough game per usual. Lean Ohio. It's a road game. That's a tough one. Ball State, you're just flat out a better team. You're going to be able to run the football, control it, take care of business. Love y'all there. Ball State, no sir. At Toledo, that's a tough game. It's Maction. Toledo's known to blow games before, specifically on the road. If the weather's bad and Toledo needs to lean into that run game, they're going to need to be improved. They did add Chip Trainum, but this run game is very good. If this offensive line has gelled and is playing well, that is a coin flip game, albeit Toledo should be the better team, especially at home. At UMass, you're a better team. I don't trust UMass. I've never thought UMass was a quality program ever since they've come up to FBS. They're just not good enough to be able to hang with this rush offense. Western Michigan, coin flip game, tough game. That's a 50-50. We'll just have to see how those teams gelled. And finishing off with Kent State, you're going to win your last game in the MAC. No doubt about it. They might be the worst team in the FBS. For good reason. They stink. It's a tough schedule with two P4 teams and a solid G5 in your non-con. Drawing Miami, Ohio, and Toledo is a tough MAC draw. A down year should be expected relative to the normal expectation, given all the question marks on the roster. But making a bowl game is good enough in a rebuilding year like this is. Anywhere from 6 to 8 wins, you should be happy.